Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WFSO Aftermath Special. Why is this a special for you guys that's watching the pre-recorded episode? Is because I didn't do the show yesterday and I had to take care of my mental health, which I explained it on the live version. So you have opportunity. The live version probably be posted on the side. So, because what I'm gonna start doing with these live shows is like record it and start it like minutes before I start the actual, pre-recorded episode. So if y'all want to tune into the live, just keep watching the live and all that good stuff. And also you can watch it through Twitch as well. So look for WFSO on Twitch if you want to watch the live episodes of Aftermath, After Dark, and WFSO Preview and WFSO Bus Talk. So all those will be live and like news and stuff like that, like comic book movies, TV news, wrestling news, Bucks news, and also any developments that's in the Milwaukee area. um, you can like it'll be exclusively on YouTube. So let's get started. We're just gonna talk about wrestling and a little bit of comic book movies and TV news. So that's all we're gonna talk about today. So no Bucks news and no Milwaukee development to talk about today. But anyways, let's get to this. I ended up missing the countdown to Turning Point. I was wrong about this one. I said that Savannah Evans may win, but Rosemary ended up winning the match. So yeah, kind of thought Wendy Chu would have appeared and whatever, but she didn't. So yeah, oh, they only had one match. Wow, that's a first. Did the paper did the pay per view start at 6? Huh, that's early as usual. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central Start Time. That's early. I would have never like caught that. I was watching the I was watching it yesterday. I didn't think like the actual one was gonna start. Why I didn't watch it live was because I didn't get home until like 8 o'clock. Had to watch the grandson. So, anyways, the kickoff match for the main card was Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian. Mike Santana ended up winning. It was just like I was saying, like Frankie Kazarian did not need to win this match because he still got the trophy and can cash it in whenever he wants. So yeah, he really didn't need to win this match. So having Mike Santana win does make sense. Although I think I picked Mike Santana, I'm not sure. Also check out my WFSO preview for Turning Point in Survivor Series and come back to watch this and y'all can see like all my picks were right or wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I can remember, sometimes I can't. So and of course the system Turkey Bowl match. Um it was interesting at least, but I think I missed the finish because I don't know. I know that Brian Myers ended up getting pinned, and he had to wear the turkey suit. So, oh, okay, it was Joe Hendry that pinned him. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, he was stopped by Hendry, Rhino, and Run, and Eric Young because Myers tried to escape and yep, ended up wearing the turkey suit. And it was shown that he was wearing the turkey suit during the main event too. So yeah, it was kind of obvious and yeah, it was funny. At least because normally they would do that on the Thanksgiving episode of Impact, but they didn't. What they show on Impact this past Thursday was never before seen matches in the year. So although that was a good concept for them to do that, like show like never before seen matches. Them probably like like dark matches before they started the show, or just have a match to like end the show. So that was a possibility for them. Probably what they done, but I think it was a good move on their part to show like never before seen matches. Yeah, I thought it was pretty great. Um, X Division Championship match. Moose defending against Laredo Kid. Of course, you expect some high flying and stuff, and the brutalizing by Moose, and of course Moose did retain as I kind of predicted. Um, Interesting. No disqualification match. I think I went for Steve Macklin on this match. Josh Alexander faced Steve Macklin. Yeah, I was saying that Macklin will come over the odds against the Northern Armory. So yeah, I was right. Steve Macklin did defeat Josh Alexander. So yeah, there's a few matches I probably missed. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I did see the 6 man tag match. So the Hardys and Ace Austin went against Zachary Wentz. Although Trey Miguel could not be there because of flight issues. But then again, it's Thanksgiving weekend and all flights are gonna be crazy. So Zachary Wentz, Kushida, and a surprising appearance by Matt Riddle. So I don't know if he officially joined TNA or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but yeah. But I thought I know I was wrong about this one too. The Hardys and Ace Austin ended up winning it. Yeah, because I thought that Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel was going to be in the be able to end the hunt for the tag titles, but like I said, with Trey Miguel did not get there in time. So yeah, it explains over here. Trey Miguel had traveling issues, and they said it was a few people that had traveling issues, and I think it was another one. If I can go back to it, who's because I know Rhino had took somebody's place, and I forgot who it was that had like a flight issue. So I forgot who was the original person that was supposed to be in that match in the first place. So they placed him with Rhino. So why not give Rhino something to do? So can't complain about that. 2 out of 3 falls. Masha Slamovich defending against Jordan Grace, and yeah, I kind of knew that Jordan Grace got the first fall, and I think Masha Slamovich ended up going like 2 straight. So Rosemary is seen watching it from the top of the walkway. So will she be in the next in line for the title? Who knows? But yes, Masha Slamovich ended up being Jordan Grace and retaining the Knockouts title, which I did predict it. But yeah, it was kind of brutal. And it feels like it was shorter matches than usual. Let me look at that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they going down the WWE road, which they should not. Like I know, NXT and TNA got like a working relationship, but no, they should not go that route. They was good with having like 8 or 9 matches. Well, normally they have like 8. Well, 9 if you include the pre-show, which only had like 1. And normally they'll have like 2. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but something's going on. But I don't think they should have did that. I did watch this match with Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards, and it was interesting. And you kind of knew that Brian Myers was going to interfere. I thought all of them was going to try to interfere, but Moose stayed in the back. Alicia Edwards was out there with Eddie Edwards, and like I said, Brian Myers was out there trying to interfere, but no cigar. But John Layfield ended up saving the match. Gave Brian Myers a clothesline from hell, and with the little bit of distraction, Nemec get to hit his super kick, then hit the danger zone, then end up winning the match. So yeah, pretty good match. So like I said, now I know they kind of lead the mystery is like why John Layfield is helping Nick Nemec. So we still don't even know that mystery, and it is just crazy. Now I know he been in the Indies as of late, clotheslining people. So yeah, just interesting. But yeah, I am gonna judge this one since I did see like most of it. I am gonna judge it. The only complaint would be the quality of matches, which they should had more quality of matches. But maybe that the loser gets in a turkey soup match probably would have take most of the time, which probably what happened. But that's why I'm gonna grade this B plus because of that. So B plus for that, and the rating of it I would give it a 8 out of 10. So yeah, I never graded TNA, kind of a little bit lower than usual because it's like always deliver. And like I said, the matches were still unpredictable, but it was just, you know, it was just off because of, sorry, yeah, it was just off because of, the amount of matches. Like amount of minutes of matches was not bad, but it was just amount of matches that should have been. And I do criticize WWE as that too. Like certain ones, like with Survivor Series, like they can go 4 hours, and it's like they got to treat it like one of their big four, so they can do like more matches than just do like their normal like 3 hours. But then again, they do it with a stupid 2 hour pre-show, which I still don't get why they still do that. But yeah, just me. But probably some of y'all probably feel the same way too. So that's enough of that. And now let's get to talking about the Survivor Series results. Um, but yeah, this was very interesting. Exactly. Excuse me. You have Team Rhea defeating Liv Morgan's team. So some interesting things. If y'all didn't see it, you can watch it through Peacock. Same thing like with TNA. You can watch TNA Plus to watch the Turning Point, and they did add it. Finally, they added Bound for Glory of this year on there as well, around the same time as they started showing Turning Point. So you get a chance, check out TNA Plus or TNAWrestling.com on TNA Plus and find your information from there. Okay, I was right about this match, and let's see, I think I got 2 matches wrong out of the 5 that was on here. So like I said, interesting women's war games, and some people just thought it wasn't, it didn't kick off right, but I think it did okay. Not saying it was the worst one, which it wasn't, but maybe there could have been, a little bit of the things, they might have missed or something like that. But yeah, I just thought their women's matches thought it did fine. Then you got the United States Championship match, which I was completely shocked, and I kind of understand it. Like maybe they could have ended, maybe with a disqualification or something like that, but have them fight maybe down the line to have Shinsuke win the title instead of winning it at Survivor Series. Um, Now he's a three-time United States championship, well champion, I should say. So I did mention this on the video that there's a possibility if Shinsuke and Nakamura end up winning this match and LA Knight losing, they might focus a little bit on the tension with Shinsuke. Well, LA Knight going against Shinsuke. Then after that, maybe they'll put LA Knight in the Royal Rumble and possibly he will win it. So that is a big possibility that they could be going for. But we just keep an eye on that. Otherwise, good match as well. Intercontinental Championship match. This match was really intense and yeah, out there. As you can tell, Braun Breaker did retain the Intercontinental title, defeating Sheamus and Louis Kaiser. Um, yeah, like I said, what a match. If y'all seen it, y'all probably would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this was a good match. World Heavyweight Championship. Gunter, defended against Damian Priest, and Gunter ended up winning, well, retaining, thanks to outside interference from Finn Balor, which y'all probably saw on Raw tonight. That Finn Balor will finally get his match against Gunter at Saturday's Night Main Event for the world title. Which I'm kind of like hesitant that he didn't have like no number one contendership match and stuff like that. Nothing. So that's just kind of weird. And also it seems like Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDowell is going to end up defending the tag titles next week. But who's the question is? Who it's going to be? Who knows? Maybe it could be War Raiders get their rematch again, because they lost was like a week or two ago to them, thanks to outside interference. But anyway, of course it was backstage footage of the parking lot brawl, so they did show that on the website and also on their YouTube page. So I'll deal with that later. But yeah, Damian Priest was brawling Judgment Days, so I kind of figured, one way or another, it was not going to be over. But it gives like Damian Priest, to move on, focus more on Judgment Day. The same thing with Rhea Ripley. Her focus is on taking on Judgment Day as well. So the Terror Twins may be tagged back together and end up taking on Judgment Day. And plus, you got like Damage Control that's probably gonna go after Judgment Day, although they lost today against Liv and Raquel. But yeah, Judgment Day got a lot to worry about right now. Anyways, a little bit of tuck and roll with the men's war games, especially with original Bloodline and CM Punk. As y'all saw, this past Friday on SmackDown, like Roman Reigns said he didn't ask CM Punk to help, but CM Punk said, he's not doing it for him, he's doing it for Paul Heyman. So I guess like either Heyman owes him a favor or Punk owed him a favor in doing this match. So it was one of the two. But I didn't see the first 10 minutes of Monday Night Raw, so I don't know what was said. I'm probably going to end up looking at the video of it sometime tonight just to see what was said. And yeah, I can change this now. Okay. But yeah, this one delivered as well. It was like interesting. But Tama Tonga, he was creeping like on the ropes when he like, because he was the first one, started the match, him against Jey Uso, and like I said, like this feud is gonna be far from over, but CM Punk may not be in the equation anymore, and Jay and Sammy, they're gonna be focused on other things, and it's just gonna be back to Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. So probably gonna end up fighting the Bloodline again. Um, but injury happened. If y'all saw the splash from the to the table with Bronson Reed.
Go look for the slow mo of that.
If y'all get the opportunity, yeah, look at the slow mo of that, and it kind of shows.
Oh, that poor man.
Yeah, so he kind of broke. He broke or fractured or what he did to his ankles. Like
They haven't said, but the way that his leg buckled, there's absolutely no. If he comes out of that with anything other than a break, I would be very, very surprised. Because it looked like in the slow mo that his leg snapped above his ankle.
oh wow.
Let me see. You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find the video and bring it out to you.
Okay.
I'm going to look for it on my Kindle because then we can show your audience better.
Okay. Well, yeah, they were saying something today. It was like something with both his ankles were he injured both his ankles, and they really didn't give the full details of that. They were just saying he like
How'd you spell his last name?
Reed.
Oh, that's spelled that way. Okay.
But yeah, it was a good, like I said, very good match. And yeah, it was big. And like I said, like it's far from over. Dane County judge overturns Act 10 law. You heard that?
Huh?
The Dane County judge overturns the Act 10 law here in Wisconsin.
Really?
Yep. Something that freaking Scott Walker did. So, that's good for us. It'd be more unionized. But anyways. But yeah, it was good match, and the ending was pretty good too, with everybody doing their finishing moves on, I think it was against Solo. Like Roman Reigns tried to embrace him, like come back home, but Solo wasn't having it and got beat up for his troubles, and Roman Reigns hit him with the spear and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So the Bloodline and CM Punk did win the match. I'm gonna grade and rate this PLE event. Although we got like another one this Saturday with Deadline, I'm probably gonna end up have to watch that on the next day. But I will give I will grade Survivor Series an A-. It's just like the same thing I said with like TNA's Turning Point, that it was the quality of matches that killed it, and then they could have went like an hour longer. Like they could do like these big pay-per-views, they can do 4 hours, and like the rest of them, if you want to do 3, then some people gonna have like the same feel as watching a Raw or SmackDown. So I think that's the thing that WWE failed to realize, that with your big 4, you can go more than 3 hours at least. But people want to do what they want to do, and I guess that's them trying to save money.
TikTok has taken down the slow mo of it.
Yeah, that sucks.
I
So
can't show you. Sorry.
no, it's all right. I know people on here are probably gonna figure out another way to try to
Yeah.
look for it. So yeah. So if I graded this A minus, so the rating would be, yeah, I'm gonna do this 8 out of 10 as well. Just like the same thing. Quad matches. There should be more light matches. Like maybe one or two more matches should be in this. But that's just me. If you can fit 4 hours into that, that would have been great. But yeah, sadly it didn't go that way. But yeah, there was something I was going to talk about before we move on. But because I think there's no like wrestling news or anything out there. But for what y'all seen, you kind of see like the New Day kind of like moved on from Big E and ended up going to you know just being them two, and some odd reason now Woods and Kingston are on the same page, which was actually kind of weird with them bickering and all that stuff last week. So yeah, that's pretty shocking. Um, and y'all probably wondering why I'm looking on here, but for those who's like watching in Wisconsin, y'all may want to listen or see this, and probably some scenarios that could happen between now. Well, I would say between beginning of 2025 and the end of 2025. So of course they were saying they're gonna go down to like from normally they do like I think they normally just give them like 300. No, not six. Not it's gonna go down from like 300 and over 300 days to year till next year is gonna be like exactly 300 days. Then next year, well, not next year, but 2026, they're gonna go lower than that with 250. So yeah, because as y'all see on here, they only showing Raw and SmackDown. They're not showing any house shows and stuff. So as they were saying, they're gonna cut less house shows, which kindly you can understand why they cutting like house shows, because they want wrestlers at least rest and stuff like that. And also they're gonna have wrestlers go, they can do more like independent shows on the weekend, either wrestle or make an appearance. So that's one thing that they're gonna do starting in 2025. But then again, you see a few of them already on like some independent shows. Like you have Kofi Kingston in Chicago. I think it was like in late October, I believe. Then now this Saturday you're gonna have Braun Strowman on GLCW in Waukesha, Wisconsin. That is. So yeah, I guess now it's just the beginning. So I'm kind of glad they're starting to do that, because you never know. When when the next time you can see a WWE star like for like autographs and stuff like that in the in any independent wrestling. So I guess that'd be something you can like wait and see. But oof, sorry, I just hate when that happens. I'll try to ask for that any other time, but it's just doing it himself. But anyways, let me just get to it. You see, every single date in January is like set. Then you got February mostly set, but when you stop here, February 21st, there's still some days, that they haven't announced yet. But could it be a possibility, they can do a Raw or SmackDown here in Milwaukee, and also they can also do what's that like they can do a show here, and plus we bid it for the Money in the Bank PLE event, so they probably gonna push it, to have like a big weekend for that, like they did in Toronto this year. So maybe have a SmackDown, Money in the Bank, then wherever NXT PLE event will be. So that's a possibility. So I'm gonna drag this fire form thing here, and I'm gonna show y'all. Like I said, nothing on that week of the last week of February. There's nothing on there, but when you go to like Raw, because normally there would be like Monday, March 3rd. There's nothing there either. But according to you looking at the fires of form thing, so let's look at it. Let's see. Oh, okay, there's a Bucks game. So the 24th of February and the 28th of February is like fair game. Unless they might do SmackDown on in Toronto. That's a possibility. So right now you got the 24th and 28th like available if they end up doing like a show in Milwaukee, either Raw or SmackDown. Then you have March, and let me show y'all what like I said that the first 2 weeks of Raw in March they didn't announce yet, but they already announced SmackDown for the first 2 weeks. So looking at the calendar for this, we know we can't have it on the March 7th because of stuff already going on. And that one's going to be in Philadelphia. So here on the Monday we got the 3rd and the 10th available. So possibilities, they may have a Raw like February or March. Then they probably will announce Money in the Bank around that time, or they'll probably announce it earlier. Maybe if not this month or just sometime in January, they'll announce some of the fall days and the rest of the winter dates. So just keep that in mind. That there's a possibility that that can probably happen for those that's listening, and also from the Wisconsin area. So just keep those days in mind. That because right now it's looking like we may end up having the Raw. If not, then maybe later. Who knows? But that's just my thing. Just keep that in mind. And as y'all see, the list of PLE events that's happening so far, and what we know and what we're guessing. So nothing is confirmed yet, but it's like a wait and see. So we're probably gonna do like a wait and see. Okay, I can click out of that. I think I said there was no wrestling news to talk about. Yeah, but I guess there's one thing we can look up Maria just to see because it seems like she had surgery recently, and I didn't even. Okay, back in July, the doctors discovered a mass found in her uterine gland. Okay, she was diagnosed with a rare tumor on that area. So it said the diagnosis rate is approximately 8 out of every 1 million people. I can't even say that right. I'm just saying that just a tumor. So let's see. Causes an uncontrolled burst of adrenaline, which affects several vitals such as blood pressure and heart rate. She went through the treatment in October and suffered a setback post-surgery, but earlier today she provided with her S account update. let's see. To be a bit too, but I'm gonna let you guys know that I am okay. So she's cancer free, and the tumor was not cancerous. So that's good news. So it's probably be just like a maybe a slow recovery for her. So she may not get back to um, probably back in with managing the tag team Matt Taven and her husband Mike Kanellis. Oh, Michael Bennett. I don't know what I'm thinking of that old gimmick that they use in WWE. I meant Mike Bennett, so I apologize. So, well, at least she's doing good, and like I said, who knows when she's gonna come back? And I'm thinking that's probably be the only thing to talk about. Of course, they started their Intercontinental Women's Championship tournament. Of course, you got Dakota Kai going against Shayna Baszler and Katana Chance, and they did show the bracket of it. We don't know when the finals is going to be as of yet, but what a good start with the triple threat match. With I was thinking like there's some odd reasons I was thinking Shayna Baszler was going to win, but ended up being Dakota Kai. So nothing wrong with that, but it's just like a surprise that they end up doing that. So they're doing the same format as they doing with the Women's United States Championship tournament. So the same format, 4 triple threat matches and a semifinal and a finals. Um, yeah, this probably ain't really. Of course, that's what we touched on earlier with this right here about Bronson Reed. So maybe they have more news on that. Sometime soon. Um, let's see. There's probably really not. Tony Khan addresses criticism of the promotion, so I want to hear what he had to say about it. Let's see. Oh, he's on a recent interview with Wrestle Friends about how he deals with AEW being criticized. Okay, sometimes he enjoys hearing feedback, but admit that changing the minds of some people is a futile exercise. What? Oh, anyway, he said, well, it depends on what it is. I think a lot of constructive and sometimes fans had a good perspective, and a lot of times it's really worth listening to the feedback. Sometimes it disingenuous. I probably said that wrong, but anyways, there's nothing you can do. But I do think it's always worth hearing the fans on hearing viewpoints. Sometimes it's fans of different promotion that don't really have anything positive to say, no matter what you do, and that's fine. We sold 81,035 tickets at Wembley Stadium, and there were people trying to tear it down. People saying, they only got 73 thousand. Like, is that's a bad number? That's more people that were at the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, and people were trying to say that it was a bad number for AEW. Um, oh wow, we're gonna be a little bit above average next week. Man, I like the sound of that. But it's mainly just him like downgrading, what the fans are saying, that they gotta realize, the fans is also your customers. So you gotta get the thing just like the customer's always right, and I like when the Triple H said his approach with running like head of creative of WWE, that he's not doing it for what he wants. He's doing it for what the fans want. So and I think that's why everybody liked this new WWE run since Vince was out of the picture.
I'm interested in how it's going to change when it goes on to Netflix.
Oh yeah, I know everybody's gonna be interested in that next month. So
And I can't believe it's next month for it already. Like,
right,
that's crazy. But it seemed like 5 minutes ago we were talking about, well, how's it going to go on Netflix and all of this lot. And it's like, boom, we're here.
so we're gonna do a special episode like right after Raw, like a aftermath special, just to tell you like my opinion, or if anybody else want to come in with the
Is it still going to be Monday night?
yeah, it's still gonna be Monday.
I know sometimes they change up those things. That's why I was asking. So I
Yeah,
apologize for my ignorance.
no, there ain't nothing to apologize for. But from yeah, we will do a like special episode that Monday, just to like see how it go with Netflix, and did they work the kinks out from what they did with the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Jesus Christ, I hope so.
Yeah, which a lot of people that seen it was not that impressed because it kept buffering.
The only good thing I think about it being on Netflix is to be able to rewatch right away.
Very true. And somebody had this funny scenario, just like if it buffers, pause it until it stops buffering, then play it.
Yep, that's what we did. Yep. Before our internet got sorted, remember that's what we would have to do is like pause the thing
Right.
or rewind it a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, that is true. But like with like it's like Tony Khan is not gonna do anything from as many he's just gonna go with. He likes hearing the feedback, but it's like another Vince McMahon thing. It's like you love hearing the feedback, but I'm gonna do what I want to do. So that's barely what Tony Khan is saying, and I'm sorry, but you're not gonna last that long. Like I said, right now AEW is in their dark days, and WWE has some dark days too. Even I wouldn't say TNA will have much of its dark days, but it wasn't as worse as like with WWE, having half the arena only filled. Then same thing with AEW only having half the arena full. Like the one I went to in September where they was here in Milwaukee, they only had like maybe like about, I'm not gonna say 50% because it was less than that. Maybe like about 30 or 35% of the attendance there, and yeah, that's sad. And I think I did not go to the last one, so I don't know how the attendance was there last year, but this year it was horrible. It was really horrible. So I'm not saying they got to change venues or anything like that. I'm just thinking that Tony Khan needs to drop that head of creative thing and have somebody else do it, especially a wrestler that has done this before and experience like the ins and outs and know what to take on that. But I'm sorry, but Tony Khan keeping going this way, it's gonna be a sunken ship. Like, I don't mind Tony Khan being the CEO, that's one thing, but not being head of creative or anything like that. He don't need to be another Vince McMahon. We had that, and half of the times we don't like that, and just something just need to be changed. So yeah, they really got to do something before because right now AEW is on a time limit. Let's put it that way. Like, I know they be happy having nearly like a million views like in the beginning and stuff like that, but that's not the case lately. And just from what it seems like, they might gonna end Rampage after this month, and they gonna deal with just um, Dynamite and Collision. So I don't know what to say, but I know they got to do something soon. But we're gonna end the wrestling talk on that, and mainly we're just gonna talk about a couple of comic book movies and TV news. Well, as we know already, Moa 2 was number one, and it made like the biggest box office internationally than any animated movie during this season. So and I think they said who else who came in second? Let's see, Moa 2 was of course in first, then of course just saying it the whole previous record held by Super Mario Brothers movie, which was 377 million in the 5-day domestic start. But I take it okay. So mainly it was Moa 2 was number one. So let's go back to that, and we will see. Red 1 was number 2, and of course Venom: The Last Dance was number 3, and I'm surprised that's still out. And like I said, we mainly just talk about like Venom: The Last Dance. So it made 3.8 million this weekend. Like international making like 330 million, but globally it was making is making total right now of 468.2 million. So very close to 500 million, and I think that's what they're gonna try to get to. But then again, it ain't that many movie theaters showing it. You only had like maybe like here in Milwaukee, you probably had like two theaters, like the AMC and both of the markets. I think the both of the Marcus theaters on the south side, because yeah, all Marcus theaters are on the south side now. So yeah, it kind of stinks, but what more can you do? And I know there's plans of making a movie theater downtown, but we don't know how's that going. But yeah, as you see, Venom: The Last Dance is number 3 and still making a little bit of money. And like I said, I think they're trying to push for to try to get 500 million. So
They
they
haven't got much competition right now.
well, in a way they do.
With who?
Wicked and Moa 2 that just came out, and I just mentioned it made like over 300 million worldwide in this first weekend.
I swear I thought they were coming out this week.
Uh
Okay, my bad.
uh
Carry on.
It's all right.
Right over my brain fart. My days are so completely messed up. I don't even know if I'm gonna
Especially
wake up.
Thanksgiving being later than
Oh
usual.
my god, yes.
So yeah, I can understand that. So before we end the show, well, this was article was saying by Kofi Offlaw from comicbook.com. Craven the Hunter preview hints at a Spider-Man spinoff, maybe if it's done right. So we already had like the producers instead, like we know about Sony's track record with Spider-Man spinoffs, and they're just trying to plead with you guys that give this movie a chance. So although some of the Sony Spider-Man universe stuff was not well received by some people, and especially critics and so-called comic books specialists,
Puritan fan.
yeah, and people don't look at it as like because
I
um
don't think they understand alternate universes and such like.
right, it's like for some of us, I would say some real comic book fans, we don't look at it as they may say something, but we don't think it's going to be oh, okay, Brewers are signing a pitcher, so I'll look at that in a bit. But yeah, like I enjoy Morbius. I also like Madam Web,
I
and
loved Morbius.
and that's from a girl that's like vampires. So, and yeah, like I said, Morbius was a good movie.
I did kind of lose my mind on that movie, didn't I?
Yeah. Um, we both thought Madam Web was good.
I did. I liked that. I don't get where the hatred came from, but hey.
It's because they don't mention Peter Parker or Spider Man. That's I think what some of them were expecting. To hear Spider Man in the picture, as you saw like some. It wasn't on like previews of Madam Web, but it was like previews of Morbius, so I can understand them getting upset at that.
Oh, they can eat a titty.
But then again, we read this scoopers and stuff like that, and people be like, "Oh, they're gonna mention Spider Man finally! Yay!" Who
That
cares?
isn't always how it works.
Exactly.
That's like saying in regards to, let's be honest, you've got Captain Marvel, okay, in two different categories of comics.
Uh huh.
That's like saying in the DC one where Marvel is mentioned, say, well, when are they gonna mention Iron Man? Ain't gonna happen.
Right.
God, maybe.
Yeah, you got a point on that, and
Making my geek senses go into overdrive, and I don't like it.
although she was okay with the Venom trilogies, and I thought they were like pretty good, but that's like the only thing from the Spider-Man universe, because it did have some shades of being in the MCU at one point, then being back to his own world and stuff like that. If y'all saw like the last two Venom movies, you will understand. But otherwise, I thought the series was pretty good. So
See, I like the darker comics.
like Midnight Suns, that's gonna be something when that comes out.
Right, and like, uh, let's really freak people out. V is for Vendetta.
Oh yeah, that
Comic book.
yep,
People.
based off of DC Comics. Yep.
Do I need to break out my comic book? Because I got it. But I like the darker ones. That's why Morbius works for me. I like Venom. In my opinion, they could have done better, but I like Venom. Deadpool, people may not think that's dark, but it's dark humor in places.
Yeah, that's true. And there's more like comic books that's out there that's dark. Like you got Blade,
Oh, God bless.
Ghost Rider is another.
Having a moment, leaving me. Yeah, like Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I don't think people get how dark that actual comic is when you go through it. Because when they make the movies, a lot of times they try to take the cheerier side of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But go deep into it. I'd love for some of these people to do a deep dive into these comics and really read what's going on, because I think some people would be quite shocked and surprised by what is actually being said.
Right, and if y'all saw like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, that's another dark one too. Um, but yeah, some of these comic books are dark, although they're like different ratings for like all those. But
Alright, let's really go into it then. Everybody believes like Superman, all cheerful and all this, like he saves the world from our enemies. Let's go into the death of Superman.
oh yeah,
Let's go into some of the other ones and how dark they get.
and especially the series finale of Superman Lois, which I'm gonna watch tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that was kind of dark too.
And saving children from burning buildings.
Right. Because they did mention, this season was going to be done differently, like it's never been done before. So, they did, and probably at one point this week, I will talk about my review of that season of Superman Lois. Like, probably as soon as I'm done, watching, the final episode. But anyways, yeah, should be interesting. But yeah, it's just mainly just saying that, if, like, people give like Craven the Hunter a chance and whatever, they probably will enjoy it. So I guess they were showing like clips and stuff of it at certain areas, but we will see. Cause yeah, next Friday Craven the Hunter is coming out. So That's gonna be huge. Oh yeah, can Craven the Hunter redeem Sony Spider-Man universe? That's a possibility. It depends where they're going, cause we already know there ain't gonna be no mentions of Spider-Man or anything like that. So, maybe they want to make a sequel or something if it's end up being
I went and
good.
grabbed the Encyclopedia of
Okay,
Superman.
what we on this? What we at on this?
I was just saying that not all there's a lot of people who go to see comic book movies and are expecting it to be Spider-Man type things and the Avengers, and we were saying that, there's a dark side to a lot of the comic books. Like, my favourite ones are like Morbius, V is for Vendetta. As much as I don't think they did a really amazing job on Venom, Venom to me was a good thing because the so-called hero in it,
Anti-hero, yeah.
isn't the cookie cutter all-American good boy. He's an asshole. Let's be perfectly frank. We're gonna no beating around the bush or anything. And I said, but then I said, but also when you actually, if you go into the comic books, instead of just what you've seen, Superman isn't always, I'm gonna save this child from falling into this waterfall. It isn't always Lois trying to work out who Superman is. There's a dark side to it that people, unless you're a comic book fan, you're not gonna know. The same with Batman. Batman's dark, let's be honest. Batman is one of the original dark ones. But it isn't always saving somebody. We just went through Penguin.
Yup.
Penguin is not a happy series. Penguin is badass series. But it's not happy. Hit some pretty flowers. It's not Harley Quinn as you expect Harley Quinn to be. It's dark. It's dark. Let's be honest. The last Batman that came out that introduced us to this version of Penguin was a dark freaking movie. It's not the Michael Keaton. It's not the Adam Wests. So I wanted to get the Superman Encyclopedia because he can explain there's the dark side of Superman. Over to you. I gotta go up. Excuse me. It's down there.
Dark side of Superman, really?
Tell me Death of Superman isn't dark in comparison to some of the others.
The dark side of Superman. Let me.
Well, they mean like, because they had some series that's supposed to be like dark, like let's say for example Smallville. When if you saw Superman, I think he had that red kryptonite that turns him like his ego will change and stuff like that, like something like that.
Considering with the red kryptonite, they change it up dramatically compared.
And yeah, they changed it on Superman and Lois too. Like a couple episodes ago, the red kryptonite makes him weak. Like he can't use his powers. So that was one different thing.
I was trying to get into that. With the red kryptonite, depending on which format or media you're watching or reading of Superman, red kryptonite it's different. Like for instance, in the comic book, way back when, they did a crossover with Superman versus Muhammad Ali. And being that Superman, of course, could knock Muhammad Ali out with one punch, to make it fair in the comic book, when Superman is introduced to red kryptonite, because Kryptonite's sun is red. The sun on Kryptonite is red. On Krypton is red. Being that he wanted to make it a fair fight, he trained under red light.
Yeah.
It pretty much like for a Kryptonian in the comic book, for a Kryptonian to be under red sunlight, they're human. Their powers are gone completely. Now, as you saw on Smallville, when he's under the influence of red kryptonite, his inhibition is completely gone. It's like pretty much Clark Kent never existed. It's like the morals and shit that he grew up by with Mom, Pa Kent, that's completely gone. There is no Clark Kent. It's Kal-El. the last son of Krypton, can do whatever the hell he wants to because no one can stop him. That's what kind of threw me off on Smallville the first time I saw Red Kryptonite being introduced. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I was like, let me get this straight. On here, when he's under the influence of Red Kryptonite, his inhibition is gone. Pretty much there is no Clark Kent. It's like him coming to Earth, never being raised as human. It's like, I can do whatever the hell I want to, no one can stop me. But then in the comic book, it's like, okay, Red Kryptonite or Red Sun, there is no powers. He has no powers whatsoever. He's still Superman, he's still Clark Kent, but he just doesn't have his powers anymore. That's what threw me the fuck off.
Right.
But also,
but he was badass as fucking. I gotta admit, as like Red Kryptonite, teenage Clark Kent, Smallville, I was like, man, he don't give a damn.
But my other thing is, in like saying when things are dark in the comics, is like when Superman or whoever the supposed hero is can't win. You know what I mean? Where you're
That's a Superman.
Where you're seeing them battle literally to the death, and it's like they're not gonna win, and you know they're not gonna win because they've got a guy come in who's like the epitome of
Doomsday.
Yeah. And that's what people don't get, is that's the darker side of things. And people just don't, you then get, well, that doesn't happen in the comic books. Well, what comic book did you read? Did you read the movie adaptation of the comic book that is the movie adaptation? Or are you reading the comic books?
That's what fucked me up about the Death and Return of Superman animated. I was like, man, come on now.
And you know what was another dark movie of a comic book?
What?
X-Men Days of Future Past.
God, yes. But then there was a lot of X-Men that were actually not cheerful and light, let's be honest.
Like Wolverine, for example. If everybody see Logan, then, it didn't end anything pretty and stuff like that. So, what we're saying is, mainly for you guys that's watching, and I apologize.
We really went off track, didn't we?
No, not really. We was talking about comic books anyway, so that's a good way. So, oh yeah, that was the final blow. Yeah, with Superman and Doomsday. So, yep.
Get to know this. Look.
If y'all have the opportunity, go get the Death and Return Superman comic.
This is your Bible. Learn it.
They got a big cover book that what Mike's holding on to right now. They have that, and they also have the comics of that too. So y'all get a chance. And also it's
like the full story.
Right, and they also on DC animation too. The Death and Return of Superman. They have that as well.
Don't do it. I put it like this: if you have not read, if you have never read this while I'm holding up, or if you've never read any of the books that are Death and Return of Superman, then go watch the movie. But being that this particular one is kind of recent, but Superman died in the comic books in '93. If you read the comic book first and then see the animated movie, you're gonna be like, yeah, they left out a lot. Because the final battle on the animated movie is Cyborg and Superman inside of a spaceship. In this one, for Returns, they're actually in Green Lantern's hometown, Coast City, which Cyborg fashioned to be his own. What did he call it? I forgot what Cyborg called it. Like he pretty much like allied himself with Mongol, or Mongol allied himself with him, and they were gonna turn Coast City into like their own city. But like I said, in the animated movie, Cyborg and Superman are battling aboard a spaceship. In this, they're actually inside of the city itself, but they're like in the engine room of the city. An Eradicator is there and whatnot. Yeah. Eradicator. Hell, when they decided to go after Cyborg, after everybody figured out that he was the evil imposter. Hell, it was Eradicator had been injured at this point, so he was back at the Fortress of Solitude, kind of rejuvenating. It was Steel, Superboy, and Superman with no powers. He had just come back from the dead. He had no powers at this point in time, and they had like
they kind of messed up on Justice League in that Batman versus Superman.
They did like an all-out attack on Coast City. Now, Superboy at one point in time he got pulled out of the battle because Cyborg shot a missile off, a kryptonite missile. And Superboy decided to take care of that best way he could. So it was like Steel and Superman powerless in Coast City. All of a sudden, Green Lantern showed up out of nowhere because that's his hometown. He showed up out of nowhere and battled Mongol. Superman and Steel are looking for Cyborg, but since he can manipulate metal, he was pretty much like making himself appear at different points. Eradicator finally came back after damn near dying at the hands of Cyborg. He shows up. Now they're in the engine room, and Cyborg detaches the because like the whole city was being powered by like this huge rock of kryptonite. Cyborg rips one of the pipes away from the power source, fires it at Superman to try to kill him for good because of course he was powerless. He had no powers. Eradicator jumped in between, took the blast, and whatever was left of Eradicator or whatever was like his essence, Superman took his essence went into Superman, giving him his powers back. You'd have to read it. It's hard to explain. Even many times I've read this, it's still hard to explain. You have to read it for yourself. Let me see if I can.
But yeah, just overall, like we're just saying that don't jump to conclusions when you see previews of the movies, because when you see like maybe comic book movies, there may be something interesting, and plus go there with an open mind. Don't expect this and expect one thing or another to happen. Although some of the comic book movies, they do it based off from the comic books, depending on the story.
But they don't keep to the storyline.
Right. So it's just like go in there with an open mind. Same thing we saying for like Kraven the Hunter, which comes out next Friday. Just go in there with an open mind and don't expect.
I'm not a big fan of Kraven the Hunter. The only thing I've ever really read about Kraven the Hunter was in the Ultimate Guide to Spider-Man when it was called Kraven's Final Hunt, where he committed suicide at the end. Stan Lee was never. I give Stan Lee that. He never shied away from controversy.
He's a pimping legend. Anyone who could be the DJ at a strip club in his own.
You see, like there's Superman there, Eradicator just from the blast, and his essence gets pulled into Superman, giving him his powers back.
Oh.
Hell, Stan Lee was the one that actually, what am I looking for? Back in the day, they had, at one point in the comic book world, they came up with because like some comic books were like, did not shy away from certain things. Like, people actually getting stabbed and shot and whatnot. They did not shy away from that. So, the government decided to come up with something called the Comic Book Code of Ethics. Pretty much, a comic book company made a comic book. Then they had to send it to the Code of Ethics company, and they would get a stamp or a seal on the comic book stating, okay, this could be released. There was one Spider-Man issue that Stan Lee did, and it had to do with drug use. Now, mind you, the comic book code of ethics was this: no nudity, they wouldn't allow nudity, no drugs, or if you did use drugs, you could not name what the drug was.
Kind of what Deadpool and Wolverine was like on that movie when they was mentioning that, you know, like they can do nudity, but they just couldn't talk about drugs or mention anything of drugs.
No straight up killing. Like, you can have somebody die, but you couldn't have them like being shot or stabbed or, you know, something like that. Like being dismembered. Couldn't have any of that. But anyway, so Stan Lee was like, they made a Spider-Man issue where Henry Osborn got addicted to a
Harry
substance.
Osborn.
And the comic book code of ethics was like, we can't allow you to release this because of the drug use. Stan Lee was like, damn that. He was like, this is too important for people not to see. He released it anyway, which pretty much destroyed the comic book code of ethics. He went against the norm. He was like, this is too important of an issue for it not to be released. There's only one issue in history right now that was supposed to have gotten released, but it didn't, but it eventually did. The one I'm referring to is Superman, once again. I don't know if it was what was before I was born, because it was like 60s. Back then, the government took issue with teen obesity. Who was the president at the time? JFK. They made a comic book with Superman helping JFK battle teen obesity. Before it was released, JFK was assassinated. The comic never was released.
That sucks.
Until Greatest Superman Stories Ever Told was made. It was then released in that. They after almost 40 years of that comic never seeing the light of day, it was finally released in the Greatest Superman Stories Ever Told. I only read it twice, so I don't really remember exactly what happened in that comic. But yeah, it got put on the shelf for that many years because of what happened to JFK. They didn't want to bring out a comic book with him in it with the memory of him being assassinated still fresh in people's mind. If they did anything that controversial with Batman, I don't know. There is actually a lost piece of Batman media that never saw the light of day because of the outcome of the comic book that took place before it. That one, the one I'm referring to is The Death of Robin, of Tim Drake.
Oh yeah.
And the piece of media I'm talking about, depending on how, because the fans voted on if Robin was gonna live or die. DC didn't make this up. DC did not make that choice of Tim Drake getting killed or living. But of course, depending on how the votes swayed with the fans, they had to make two different endings. One, Batman fighting Tim Drake's dead body, or two, him fighting his body and saying, oh, he's not really dead, he's alive. Since the fans voted for Tim Drake to die, I can't believe he's still alive. was never released because there was no point.
That's crazy. That's
Superman
crazy.
lost media. Superman, not super. Well, the lost media is the reign of the Superman when Jerry and Joe came up with Superman's first concept. It was called Reign of the Superman.
Yeah.
Because originally, for those of you that don't know, originally Superman was actually going to be a mad scientist that used telekinetic powers to rule. It was called the Reign of the Superman. But then, of course, Jerry and Joe decided, like, let's re-scrap that and make Superman a hero instead of a villain. And then they had to decide on, like, okay, so what are we going to do with them? And since Jerry and Joe were really into, like, strongmen and, like, having strength and whatever, they took the concept of Hercules and Samson from the Bible and gave Superman physical attributes instead of psychic attributes. Yeah. And then, of course, all his other powers came. Because when Superman was first made, the only power he had two. Invulnerability and super strength. That was it. He didn't fly. He didn't have heat vision. He didn't have ice breath. He didn't have super speed. He had two. That was it. Invulnerability and strength. His flight ability, oddly enough, when Superman got his flight powers, it was on the radio. Kryptonite was first introduced in the radio. Yeah, Superman's most stunning attribute, the power of flight, was introduced in the radio where you had to visualize from what you were hearing Superman actually flying. Superman didn't take flight in live action until George Reeves.
Sorry, Trout. We hijacked your show.
Yeah, fine.
I'm not going to count Kurt Allen's Superman flying because it was animation. It wasn't an actual person. Like, he would, like, take off flying, but it was, like, changing the animation. And then when he landed, with, like, the little cartoon figure landed, it was always, like, behind something, and then Kurt Allen would come out from behind it like he actually just landed and whatever. And then when they did the whole bullets bouncing off him, it was, like, little animated bullets bouncing off his chest or whatever. They didn't actually start doing the whole flight thing, live action flight, until George Reeves came aboard.
Right, let AJ finish his show now.
But yeah, like,
And then this where in here, she didn't get the whole Michael Myers killing thing until what was that, 1927?
82. That was the year I saw it.
but anyways, so all we saying is like, there's gonna be movies, like comic book movies, that's gonna be different, and TV series that's gonna be different. But don't go there expecting like this gonna happen and this gonna happen, because there could be like swerves and turns that can happen. So y'all should really like just give comic book movies a chance. It's like right now, that's them are the only movies that I probably would most likely go see. But there's others, different, movies and stuff like that that I will still want to see. But it's just right now for me, it's just based on comic books or anything like that. But that's just me, and that's kind of where we're stuck to. And I haven't been going to the movies that much until Marvel Studios. I wouldn't say like since then, because like we didn't know about much about them trying to create like phases and stuff in Marvel until maybe like the first Avengers. Then we caught back up and just watching like what we missed and stuff like that. But yeah, that was that, and y'all give these movies a chance and don't just expect what you're supposed to be expecting. Same thing with like other movies and other like franchises, like like Fast and Furious. Don't expect too much about it, because it could go like a different way, something that's probably never been done before. Because that's what all movies are going to try to do. Like, do something that's never been done before. So, only thing I'm saying, just just be patient and don't jump to conclusion on that. And so I'm going to end it with that. And I'm sorry for the people that was watching on Twitch that the phone just got cut off, and I don't know why. But then again, the battery's probably dead. So when I checked the battery, it was like halfway. So I don't know how it drained all the energy from that. But then again, it's just ridiculous phone. But anyways, you guys on YouTube, please, if you like content like this and all the stuff that we mentioned, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to at least 500 subscribers by the end of this month. Hopefully we can get there. If not, hopefully we can get there at least next year and at least get to 1,000 by the end of next year. So that's what we're pushing for. So if we get more than 1,000 subscribers, that's great too. We just try to get to 1,000. That's all we're trying to do here. Because normally I don't act for I do say subscribe, but I don't trying to be like, you must subscribe, you must subscribe. But times like this, you have to. Also check out our over 2,200 videos of wrestling content. Also not just like wrestling content, but comic book movies and TV news content, Milwaukee development content, and Milwaukee Bucks content. So I know we didn't talk about much of the Bucks today, but we're gonna say that for tomorrow. So let me end this here. Also check out the website wrestlingfanspeakout.weebly.com for upcoming events, photos, and more stuff. And if you want to sponsor, there's a QR code on the sponsor page, and check that out. And sponsor how much you want. So don't matter how much, we will take it. So please sponsor. So from all of us here, thank you guys for watching. The wife says bye, and until the next video, which most likely will be tomorrow, and that's probably the next time we will be live with the final NBA Group Cup game for the Bucks as they're going against Detroit. The winner of that gets to they lead that division and be automatically in the tournament. So, once again, thank you guys for watching. Until the next video, you guys have a good one whenever you're watching. So, have a good day, good night, or whatever the case may be. Just have a good one.